In the blood-soaked chaos of Pittsburgh's Homestead Mill on July 6, 1892, as Pinkerton Guards bullets tear through striking workers' flesh, 7 dead, hundreds wounded in a hail of lead and rage, Andrew Carnegie, the self-proclaimed working man's friend, sits 3,000 miles away in a Scottish castle, his hands trembling over a letter from Henry Clay Frick that reads like a death warrant. "We have the men and the money to carry on for years." But here's the twist that chills the spine. This architect of 2,500 libraries, the man who "Let there be light above every door" he gifted to the poor, orchestrated the violence from afar, his fortune exploding to $480,372,000,000 today on the backs of broken men he claimed to champion. Was it ruthless genius or a soul's dark bargain? Dive in, because Carnegie's empire wasn't built on steel alone. It was forged in immigrant sweat, betrayed trusts, and a philanthropy veil so thin it barely hid the bloodstains. A $300 billion shadow that still looms over America's industrial ghosts. Begging the question, can redemption wash the hands of a king who crowned himself with thorns? The carnage at Homestead erupts not from nowhere, but from the molten core of Carnegie's ascent. A boy born November 25, 1835, in Dunfermline's damp weaver's cottage, where his father Willie's looms clack like a death knell against mechanized doom. The family fleeing Scotland's textile famine in 1848 for Allegheny's grimy promise. $20 in pocket and dreams heavier than iron. At 13, Andrew, gangly red-haired with eyes like a fox's, huddles in a cotton mill basement, fingers raw from bobbing spools for $1.20 a week, the air thick with lint, and his mother whispered hymns of endurance. Margaret Morrison Carnegie, her iron will the forge that tempers his fury. Die rich? No, lad, live poor, give all. But poverty's bite sharpens ambition's blade. By 15, he's a telegraph messenger, decoding dots and dashes with a savant speed that lands him in the Pennsylvania Railroad's inner sanctum under Tom Scott, the mentor who gifts him $500 in oil stocks during the 1859 Titusville gush, a gamble that triples to $1,500 overnight, his heart pounding as black gold floods the lamps of a kerosene-starved nation. War's drum in 1861 catapults him, superintendent at 24, dodging Confederate spies, his bobbin boy grit now commanding troops of rails that feed Grant's guns. Profits swelling to $40,000 yearly, but the real inferno ignites in 1865 with the Keystone Bridge Works. His first steel venture, a Bessemer converter belching fire in Pittsburgh's Helmuth. Rails twisting like serpents to bind the continent, each spike a stake in the heart of rivals crumbling under his efficiency's crush. Yet the climb twists vicious as 1872's Depression clause. Carnegie slashing wages 20% at Edgar Thomson Works. His ironclad oath to workers a lie shattered when unions rise. Frick, his Coke King enforcer, eyes cold as anthracite whispering, "We must fight them to the death." The boardroom pact seals it. Vertical integration devours suppliers. Railroads rebate secrets starve competitors. Carnegie's ledger's a labyrinth of monopolies that control 25% of U.S. steel by 1881. His fortune ballooning to $25 million. But the human cost seeps like slag workers' lungs blackening in silica storms. Families evicted for daring to strike. Andrew's letters to Frick, a frenzy of feigned regret. The public must be educated. Code for crushing dissent with lawyers and locks. Romance flickers amid the forge. Louise Whitfield, 21 and steel-nerved, weds him in 1887 at 51. Their secret New York ceremony a balm to his bachelor's ache. Daughter Margaret, born in 1897, a light that softens his edges. Louise's pleas for mercy clashing with his creed. Surplus wealth belongs to the community, yet he hoards. Building Skybo Castle as a Highland escape, its towers mocking the tenements he ignores. The 1889 Gospel of Wealth essay explodes the myth philanthropy is duty. Not atonement, but whispers grow. Is it gospel or gospel of greed? Libraries as laundries for blood money? Homestead's Holocaust piques the paradox. Frick's barricades turning mills into fortresses, the governor's militia bayonets sealing the siege. 3,800 guards against 3,800 strikers whose wives hurl stones from riverbanks. The press howling Carnegie's crime. His silence a scream that haunts Scottish nights. Louise's tears the only confession. Andy, the workers are us once. The strike breaks in 4 months, unions shattered, Carnegie fleeing to Europe. His $10 million annual profits, a pyre built on widows' graves, but the empire devours on Homestead Steel annexed in 1892, Federal Steel in 1898. The 1901 sale to J.P. Morgan birthing U.S. Steel at $480 million. Carnegie's Hall, the world's largest cash transaction, adjusted to $372 billion, dwarfing Bezos's empire. His ledgers closing on a monopoly that rails America's spine from Brooklyn Bridge to Panama Canal. Each beam a testament to innovation's blade. Cost per ton slashed from $1.58 to $1.11. Output exploding 1,000-fold, but laced with Pinkerton payoffs and wage wars that scar the soul. Twilight tempers the titan. 1901's retirement avowed to give all $350 million poured into 2,509 libraries, temples of knowledge. Etching his name in granite from Allegheny to Tasmania peace palaces in The Hague. $25 million to Negro education via Tuskegee. Pensions for 8,000 ex-employees, but the mask cracks in reflections. The man who dies rich dies disgraced. He rasps to Louise on Skybow's shores, their 46-year bond a quiet redemption. Margaret's laughter the heir he grooms for good, his 1919 autobiography, a confession veiled in triumph. Death claims him August 11, 1919 at 83 in his Shadowbrook mansion. Final words, steady. A command to the end. Buried in Sleepy Hollow amid oaks he planted. Legacy a double-edged sword steel that built skyscrapers. Philanthropy that lit minds, but tactics that broke backs. $300 billion impact, a ripple that floods ethics shores even now. Carnegie's S-Forge from Dunfermline's dim to Pittsburgh. S-Blaze unveils ambition's abyss. Immigrant fire fueling cutthroat crowns. Libraries, the laurels on a tyrant's brow. A $300 billion echo that challenges. Redeemer or robber? If this saga of steel and soul grips your grit, subscribe to unearth more empire's enigmas with me. We're chasing history's heat together. Next, the cotton curse that chained the South. Eli Whitney, shins sparking family plantations drowned in slavery's shadow. Ethical ghosts haunting a legacy of lint and legacy reckonings. What fire would you fan in fortune's flames? Share below, and we'll temper it true.